Hello, good morning. We are in Genesis 11. Actually, good afternoon. We're in Genesis 11. Okay, here we go. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Okay, and the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Genesis 11, y'all. Verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Okay? So, guys, pause for a second. What's basically going on here, my take on this is that, okay, for one, man, being in the image of God, we do just about everything. We do everything we set our minds to. I mean, we could just about just take off and fly, without, just like Superman. Okay, so man is extremely powerful, extremely imaginative, extremely creative, just like God. But God, I mean, look, we're going into space, we've created superhuman entities through technology, medical breakthroughs, the list goes on and on about what man can do. Man hasn't cheated death yet, of course, but that's basically what we're trying to do through all this stuff, medical stuff, and uploading yourself and creating our own gods through technology, stuff like that. But man is basically saying to these guys, hey, you got to get the core fundamentals right, because you guys are doing all this, but it's not for a good cause. You're just trying to be ambitious and prideful, and you're not really. He basically broke up their unity because he knew that, he knew that they didn't have the core fundamentals right. They weren't, acknowledging God and this and that. And you wonder, why is there so many different languages in the world? They all have written language, different tongues. They sound nothing alike. Look at Japanese language, look at French language, look at Russians, look at Hebrew. It's all in Spanish, Espanol. So, all these languages, they're basically saying the same thing, just different. So you ever wonder why it's like that? This is why. This is why. It says it right here. So everything has an explanation. This is why there's so many, the proof is all around you guys with people with different languages and stuff like that. No, it's not some miraculous regional difference, geographical. I mean, that's not the reason. The reason is because of right here. It says right here. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So he's basically saying that you guys are about to, you guys are doing stuff that's not in your best interest. He's basically trying to protect us, / whatever. So that's why that happened. This is why we have all the languages in the world. Take it or leave it. Okay? Let's look over here what it says on that passage. It says, and the Lord came down, and the Lord said, behold, verse 6, behold, they are one people, they have all one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do, and nothing that they purpose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Okay, so in verse 9, in verse 9, there its name was called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them over all the face of the earth. So, he knew that what we were trying to do was not in our best interest, for whatever reason. So he stepped in like he always does for our best interest. Okay? And let me just say this, in the book of Acts, when the Holy Spirit came on, I forget what chapter, but they had different languages at that time, and he made them all understand one language, and everybody in their own tongue started speaking. Basically, they understood each other. So the word passed into different languages in that time and spread out. It went viral. So this isn't the first time. He spread them out, then he brought them together. So in Genesis 11, he spread out the languages so that they couldn't understand each other and stop being so unified, because he knew that what they were doing was not in their best interest. It was just their own ambition and pride, their morals and their ethics and their, they weren't, something what they were doing wasn't in their best interest, because it says their imaginations, they can do whatever they imagine, which is true, within until it violates God, and then they're stopped. Violates God's principles. So in Acts, when things were going for God, of course, he was in control. There was different languages, but God broke that barrier down. Y'all are doing what you're supposed to do. The Holy Spirit's here now, so let's let all y'all understand what's going on. And so everybody in their own tongue understood each other, and boom, the truth was spread. So boom, there you have it. All right. So this parallels with Acts, but just different side of the coin. So all right. Verse 9. Or let's go to verse 8 again. Or verse 7. Well, I'll start at 6 again. And the Lord said, behold, the people are one, and they have all one language. King James Version. And this they began to do. Verse 6. And now everything will be restrained from them, which they had imagined to do. Restrained from them. God does not mind restraining y'all. If stuff's in your imagination and you're doing it, just because you started doing it doesn't mean it's going to keep working. Okay? Let us go down, and they are confounded. And there confounded their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. This is just a principle here that, guys, if you're not on the right track, God will come down and confound your thoughts and land you somewhere you don't want to be. Therefore, verse 8, so the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. They stopped them. It doesn't matter what he does. Confound their language, just, whatever. Throw you in prison, throw you in jail, whatever he's going to do to stop what you're doing. If it's not right in the eyes of God, God does not mind stopping you. Okay, and there's more on that. He doesn't mind letting you go on either, because either way, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I can vouch for that. So, alright. Okay, so therefore is the name of it called Babel. Because the Lord, people say you're babbling, baby babble. You know, that's where this name comes from. Scripture. A lot of words we use come from scriptural stuff. You know, it goes on and on. It goes on and on. Ruthless. The word ruthless comes from the Bible. Ruth. She was in the Bible. A lot of words we use come from Bible. And y'all, you just don't realize it. Yeah. Babble. You're babbling. It comes from Babel. It comes from the story in Genesis. The word Ruth. Ruthless comes from the Bible. You know. A lot of the stuff we use today. And there's more. I'm just saying. You know, a lot of verbs that we use come from actual places. And stories in the Bible. Facts, not stories. The Bible is your story. It's not a, okay? Now these are the generations. Verse 10 of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and he begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begat Selah. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Selah 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Selah lived 30 years, and begot Eber. And Selah lived after he begot Eber 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Eber, verse 16, lived 34 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber, 17, lived after he begot Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years after, and begot Reu. 19, and Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years, and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 207 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years, and begot Nahor. And Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years. It's either Nahor or Nahor. So Serug. Verse 23, and Serug lived after he begat, and guys, for the record, a proper noun can be pronounced anyway. There's no fixed way. If you want to say Paris or Paris, either way is not wrong. So I'm not necessarily wrong until I meet that person. They tell me they want to pronounce how they want to pronounce it. Okay, and Serug, verse 23, and Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years, and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah and 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in the Ur of the Chaldeans. Terah. Okay, Chaldeans. Terah. Anyway, all right. 29. And Abram and Nahor took wives. 29. And Abram and Nahor. It's either Nahor or Nahor, or Nahor, or Nahor. 29. And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abram's wives was Sarai, or it's either Sarai, or we'll get to that. I'll figure it out. I'll do some research on the correct pronunciation of these biblical names, so that I can go back and give you all the right pronunciation. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah. And the name of Nahor's wives were Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren, and she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son. Hold on. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. So guys, the point is that the story of the Bible here is giving a relative story based. You might say, why is it? Okay, we're following the necessary story to lead us to the Christ. Okay, so God has given you the most relevant message. You say, well, why didn't he follow, why didn't they follow another guy's story? Why are we following this genealogy? He's giving you the necessary genealogy down to Christ. That's why the story is about Abraham and not some other guy. Not to mention, this is the most relevant. It's not like God was only on Abram at this time, so to speak. But this is the story leading up to the Christ. Okay, so the point also is that you can trace back from the Christ, even from now, you can trace back the genealogies to literally back to Noah. That's what this is about. It's giving you the story about God and and God's insight, not God's insight, but God's character, why he's doing this, how do we apply that to our lives relevantly, why the world is the way it is, why we have so many languages. But it's not without solid proof. These are real genealogies, real timelines, going back to Noah, because everybody else died before that. Okay? And from Noah, going back to the first man, Adam. So, yeah. That's the point. So not only has God given us broad world stuff, he's also given us down to a man level leading up to Christ. A single man, Abram. Okay? Going back to Noah. Okay? Going back to Adam. So this Bible is a detailed timeline chronology, or genealogy and chronology, if that's even a word, going back to the beginning of time as we know it, period, because there's a lot more than this realm. Okay, so that's the facts. Take it or leave it. It's not about whether you want to accept it or not, but God has not left you without evidence. Whether you choose to believe it or not, that's on you. It's your loss if you don't. I'm here to tell you. Facts. It's not up for opinion. If you don't believe the Bible, it's not in your best interest. It is a detriment to you. End of story. It is a detriment to you if you don't take this word for word and accept it. There's a reason why there's numbers here on every verse. They're facts. It's to be believed. This is law. This is law. You will be judged according to this book. Period. End of story. You will be judged. Just like in a courtroom where they have statutes and case numbers. They have numbers here. Chapter 11. Verse blah. Verse this and that. This is law. I'm here to tell you, this is law. This Bible is law. We're under the law of grace, but we are headed to judgment. Okay? Christ is our King. That's just the bottom line. Okay? He's given us all the answers in all situations, even through suffering and bad situations. He says if you suffer, then you're blessed. If you suffer, especially for His sake, you'll be blessed. So, guys, have trust in the Lord. Everything's for a reason. We're always on the pinnacle of something. Now we're going to the metaverse. We're always on the pinnacle of something, going to space, finding new life. But God is right there watching. Anything, He doesn't mind doing whatever. Okay? And that was an important point, that when God confounded their language because they weren't doing something that was going to benefit them, God confounded their language. But when something came that was going to benefit them in Acts, He brought their language together. So that's an important point. Okay? Yeah. Reading the book of Acts. Maybe I'll go look at that tonight and bring up, the actual chapters. Look it up. What happened when in Acts. So, the important point to take from all these genealogies, and there's also stuff, he's coming down to a man-to-man level. Yeah, there's other stuff in the world, and you say, well, why is he giving us these timelines? It's leading up to the Christ. Okay? That's all this is. It's all pointing to Christ, and he gives you validity of the Christ by the genealogies going back all the way to Adam, the first man. God provides a detail. He did this for proof for y'all. Yes, Christ and you can be traced back to Adam. Yeah, Christ can be traced back to Adam. That's what this book, a genealogy of the Christ. Okay? Our spiritual genealogy also goes back to God. Period. You're either corrupted, you're in line, or you're not. But our spiritual heritage and our physical heritage comes from God. Everything comes from God, y'all. You got to acknowledge it. Your genealogies, that's the principle behind these genealogies. Okay, if Christ comes back to Adam, we come from God, period. We need to act accordingly, or else. Alright, now, we're going to slide over here to Psalms 10. Or maybe we'll go to Proverbs, 5 first. Let me see. So, because we went to Psalms yesterday, let's go to Psalms is power pack today on 10. Let's go to Proverbs 4, y'all. It says, alright, and we are cross-referencing. We're doing King James and English Standard, so that we make sure we get every ounce of meaning here. So, that was Genesis 11. And the important point to notice is the genealogies is pointing to the Christ. That's what they're there for, among other meanings. Just basic factual stuff. Facts. These are the facts. These are the genealogies. This is what happened. This is what happened in the world. That's why it happened. Alright. Now, we'll go to Proverbs 4. Alright. Okay. So Proverbs 4 has, hear ye, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. Attend. That's admitting, okay, there is instruction. We want to hear it. We're willing to hear it. It's something we don't know. It's something that is in our best interest. We're acknowledging that. It's something that we don't have necessarily. We're acknowledging that there's something that we have to learn. There's something that's going to benefit us and everything. So we're attending. We're listening. We're being teachable. We don't know. We know we're dying. We know there's nothing we can do to escape that. We're attending to no understanding. Okay? We're attending to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. He's saying these are all spiritual principles of attending. You're consenting. Okay? Understanding is a spiritual principle. Forsaking is a spiritual principle. Okay? Alright? When I say spiritual principle, I mean, obedience, forsaking, hope. These are all spiritual things. You can't really put your finger on it. It's like a verb, but it's more than a verb. Okay, it's a mental thing. Spiritual. Forsake ye not my law. He's telling you guys. Sin, the Christ. Forsake ye not these instructions. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. Okay? It's talking about the Christ. Talking about the Christ. He says that in this is my son, beloved, for whom I am well pleased. He taught me also, verse 4, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. The other side of that coin is, don't keep them, don't live. We're talking about immortality here. This is where we're going. We're going on to serve the Lord. If Christ comes back before we die. So he's saying, let me say it again. He taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my word. That's a heart issue. It's a heart issue. Keep my commandments and live. Okay? Are you keeping his commandments? It says, thou shalt not covet. Drug addiction, that's coveting. That's idolatry. If you're doing those things, you are not keeping his commandments. And you will not go on to live. I'm not God. I can't judge that. I'm just saying what the word is saying. Okay, get wisdom and understanding. Verse 5. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Declining, falling away, not once saved, always saved. Declining, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Get understanding. That's what we're doing here. We're learning about his word. We're looking at the world. We're understanding these things. Okay? Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, verse 7. Therefore, get understood. Wisdom is knowledge. Wisdom is applying what we know in virtue. Don't quote me on that definition, but it's actually doing. You're wise because you're doing it, because you're following what you learned, your understanding of the good doctrine. Okay? Verse 2, for I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. So, therefore, get wisdom. We know that God is a God who doesn't mind answering you 10 years later. You might sell drugs for 10 years. You might do this and that. Nothing's happening at the moment, but we know that God is on his own timeline. So we know that just because we're doing stuff and nothing is immediately happening, there is a consequence. There is a consequence. Look at Noah when he got drunk. His son, went and told his brothers, and it affected the whole future of the world. We know that our actions have consequences that aren't immediately visible, although they can be. So wisdom, forsake her not. Wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. Understanding, acknowledgement, virtue. We're seeing things. We're acknowledging them. Oh, maybe God, you are right. Maybe you are right, Lord. Maybe this is the only way. It is the only way. That's understanding. That's wisdom. Fearing the Lord. Trusting in Him in all situations. Getting aligned with Scripture. That is understanding. That is wisdom. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. We need to embrace this, okay? Embrace her, exalt her. That means you're exalting. That means to give it glory. Give it glory. Do it. Exalt her. Lead by example. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. We're going to get crowns. Crowns of glory. Okay? This life that we live is a refining mechanism. It's a test. It's more than that too. It's more than that. It's not about living and indulging and it's not about that. This is about ethical and moral things. And of course, all good things come from that. Love, family, community, good things, celebrations, staying away from evil, fighting the good fight. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings. Receive it, and the years of thy life shall be many. Receive it. We're receiving it. More spiritual principles. Receiving, giving consent. Attending, not forsaking, not declining. We're excelling, but know when it's enough. Know when you're there. Know when you're there. Know when you've given your life to Christ. List your wins. Know when you're a victor. We're more than conquerors. Okay, that's what we're doing here. We're fighting the battle. We're fighting against Satan. We're fighting against evil. Okay? List your wins. It's never too late to start. The Christ is here to blot out the past. Let's turn today. Move forward. Let's turn. Alright? When thou goest, receive my saying. So here we go. Receiving. We're not declining. We're not forsaking. We're attending. Forsake not the good doctrine of my law. Forsake you not the good doctrine. What are we attending to? What are we not declining from? What are we preserving? The good doctrine. The good doctrine. Receiving the good doctrine. That's these Proverbs. That's these Psalms. The good doctrine. The words of Christ. Good doctrine. The words of Paul. Good doctrine. Peter, James, John. Good doctrine. Revelations. Solid facts. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. I have led the guys. It's the right thing. It's the right way. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. All this stuff is applicable. It should be at the forefront of your ideology. And I'm as quick to fall away as anybody. That's why I'm here telling it to you so I can read it myself. I'm in no better or more secure shape than anybody. Period. I'm in no better or more secure position than anybody that I'm aware of. Okay, but I know that I have something to lose. I can face destruction. I'm not once saved, always saved. I'm not once saved, always saved. This is a day-by-day walk. moment by moment. Take fast. No. Verse 11, I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have let, guys, he has taught us everything we need. Whether you attend it and receive it and hold fast is on you. He's telling you everything you need and nothing that you don't. Stay away from strange doctrines. Stay away from it. He's telling you everything you need and nothing that you don't. That's one of my slogans. Kiss the Son. Blessed be the Lord. Everything you need and nothing that you don't. One more time. Let me back up. No. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom and have led thee in right paths. Everything you need and nothing that you don't. One more time. He's given us everything we need and nothing that we don't. Proof from the Christ. Back to Adam. Back to Noah. Genealogies. Yeah, there were some adoptions. Yeah, Joseph was the father was the husband by law, but it was an immaculate conception. Mary had not known a man at that point, and she had not known Joseph. So yeah, the genealogy goes through Joseph by law, but Mary was the mother of Christ. Okay, you can trace it back. All the way back from Joseph back to Adam. We're not without proof. It's everything we need and nothing that we don't. Take fast hold. No, when thou goest. Verse 12. Thy steps shall not be straitened. You're already doing what you're supposed to do. If you're not, okay. And when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Guys, if you're doing the wrong thing, your steps will be straightened. You need to be sat down for a minute. You need to be thrown into hell. No problem. No problem. When thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. If you're doing the wrong thing, guys, and you're running, you will stumble. It might be straight into hell. It might be straight into prison. It might be straight into anything. Either way, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Okay? Paul says, run your race like you trying to win the medal. You know, there is no second place. There is no replacement. Whatever that saying is, there is nothing like winning the race. There's only one first place. Okay? Take fast hold of instruction. Take fast hold. Are you holding fast? Have you received it? Have you removed the sin? It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Well, God, it's so easy, and we just take it now and we do it, and you expect us to just drop it? Yeah. 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 Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. It says down here about following the commandment. I don't know where it was, but it's here. The law. Forsake ye not the law. Thou shalt not covet. Only thing you should covet is the word of God. Okay? Everything else is after that. Okay? Okay, take fast hold of it. Take fast hold. Take fast hold. Hold it. Receive it. Don't decline from it. Wisdom is the principal thing. What is wisdom? The fear of the Lord. Nothing else. Nothing more. Okay? Verse 13. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her. You know? I'm as fast as anybody to relapse and to use drugs and abuse them. There's no room for both of this in your life. You can't walk the fence. There is no lukewarmness. He'll spit you out. It's one or the other. I couldn't do these videos if I was on drugs. I'm sober today for whatever reason. Accountability court, whatever it is. I'm sober today. It is what it is, and I'm running with it. Period. I'm running with it. The Lord has provided these things necessary. I got to lead by example. I'm sober today. I have not used. I can go use right now if I want to. Yeah, you know, whatever. Whatever it is, I'm sober today. Whatever it is. I haven't done a lot of things. Haven't done a lot of things since I got saved again. Or saved for the first time. Haven't done a lot of things. Haven't done a lot of things. Haven't done a lot of things. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Do I want to be perfect? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes. Is it attainable? Probably not. Probably not. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Don't compromise, y'all. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not into the way of evil men. Okay? Okay, that was me. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. Pass by it. Let me check that on verse 15, 4:15. It says, 4:15. Avoid it. Do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass away. Pass on. That could mean one or two things. Turn away from the Christ and pass away. Or turn, I'll just leave that alone. Verse 16, for they sleep not except that they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Cause some to fall. You're selling somebody drugs. You know, you're causing somebody to fall. You're causing somebody to fall. If you're leading a bad example, you're causing somebody to fall, because they're going to say, well, he's doing it, and he's okay. Guys, lead by example. Lead by example. Causing somebody to fall. Make excuses. If somebody sees you're doing drugs, or you're taking part, you're giving them a reason to continue on, because you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. Cause someone to fall. Everything is not based on what you judge. It's not make this. You are not the judge. You are not the judge. It's God versus you. It's God versus you. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's God versus you. And He's the law. He's the judge. God versus you. Keep your opinions to yourself about your sin and how it's okay. Keep it to yourself about your atheism. Keep it to yourself about your philosophy and your ideology. Keep it to yourself. I know who my king is. Keep it to yourself. Or be your own. Represent yourself. Let me say that. Represent yourself. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Okay. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Okay. Guys, people are dying, overdosing, drunk drivers. Don't think if you're using drugs and people know you do drugs, you're not causing them to fall. Okay? Don't think your atheism isn't causing somebody to fall. Don't think your criticism of the Bible and your YouTube references and all that By the way, we're on YouTube at Preach Facts. 2 words. Don't think that all your ideologies and your stances and your lack of this and that is not causing some to fall. Okay? I'm as fast as anybody to be one of these people. It's everything. People are watching. God is watching. Your children are watching. People are watching you. If you're driving down the road doing this and that, you know, people are watching. You're causing some to fall, even if you don't know them. When you buy that in the store, people don't see you. The store clerk doesn't see you. You're causing, everything you do is causing influence. Everything you do. COVID is contagious. Everything you do is highly contagious. Highly contagious. Everything you do is highly contagious. Everything you do is highly contagious. Everything you do is highly contagious. Be responsible, y'all. Be responsible. Me too. I need to also. But the path of the just, verse 18, is as the shining light that shineth more and more into the perfect day. But the path of the just, that means we know what we do. We're just. We're just. We're just. Why? Because we know everything we do is highly contagious. We know the law of the Lord. We know about light and darkness. We know about sin and the Christ. We know about death. We know Christ has the keys to death. Everything we do is just. Trying to get there. Not there. We're trying to get there. I'm not saying you're not there. I'm not saying I'm not there. I'm pretty sure I'm not there. Okay. You know. Okay. I know my past isn't there, but Christ covers that. Christ covers that. Christ covers that. Christ covers that, y'all. Walk away. Drop them. Drop the big ones. Drop the big ones. The guilt is there. It was nailed to the cross. It was nailed to the cross. Walk away. Walk away while you still can. It's crouching at your door. It's crouching at your door. Christ is everything we need and nothing that we don't. What is this Bible? The story of Christ. And your story. Yes, your genealogy goes back to Adam. It's part of this Bible. Your genealogy is in this Bible. This is your story. Revelation. Man doesn't stop. You're part of this story. Walk like you mean it. Because it's all being numbered just like this. Everything you do is in a book. Everything you do just like this. Everything you do. Okay, I'm going to try to shut up, y'all, and just finish this out. I'll try to keep it under, right. But the path of the just is shining more and more into the perfect day. To the perfect day. That's when, you know, Satan gets cast into hell, I'm saying. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Well, what happened? I went to jail. Oh, no. They know not at what they stumbled. They don't know. They need to get the crap out of their life. They're still in denial. They're still in denial. Oh, it was your misfortune. Oh, it was a humbug. No. They know not at what they stumble. No, it's you and your stuff going on. That's why you're stumbling. That's why I stumbled. Okay? Guys, we're going to stop here for lack of time. I want to keep it under 50 minutes. We're at 4:19, but I like what we're doing with that. Okay? So, alright guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Yesterday was not a great day. Forgive me for that. The genealogies and all that, which is very important. It's about the principle behind it and all that. We're going to go to 12 tomorrow in Genesis, and we're in Proverbs 4. After we finish that, we'll bounce back to Psalms. And we're just bouncing around. But we're on our Bible study from front to back, from Genesis 11, guys. We're on YouTube at Preach Space Facts. Thank all of the followers. Thank y'all. We're pressing on. We're pressing on with due diligence. We're not stopping this. We're going on. We're at YouTube at Preach Based Facts. And thank you for all of the followers and the likes. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.